Hey, everybody. Hey, what's going on? What's going on? How's everybody doing on this Thursday evening? We got Bushcraft, Quebec, Sylvana, Kingsland, Iskra, Biala, Pixel Surprise, Sandy Klein. Hit the like all. Hit the like. Hit that like button. That's right. More people will find it. More people will find it. Pixel Surprise, Catherine Grant, Liquid Zoo. How's it going? How's it going, everybody? I'm probably not as high energy tonight because the caffeine I had was hours ago. Just hours ago last time I had caffeine. So I'll just be running on sugar. You know, they say a lot of these big streamers, the young streamers that are just streaming for hours a day, you know, they say they're all on Adderall, right? Like some derivative of methamphetamine, basically. That's why they're so energetic all the time. I'm not going to lie. I thought about it. Hey, maybe I should. Is the mic too hot right now? It's kind of hot in my ears, and I was recording other stuff with this. I changed the settings. Bushcraft Quebec says, everyone claiming they organized the convoy, I don't trust. It was me. I was the one who organized it. I made a tweet. I started the convoy. It was me, okay? It was all me. It was all my plan. I'm just kidding, of course. James Bullock says, love Randy Hillier for PM. Heck yeah. For those who don't know, according to Randy Hillier's bail conditions, he's not allowed to talk to me. Apparently he's not allowed to talk to me. We're not allowed to talk to each other, according to some crown judge somewhere. Isn't that cool? Isn't that amazing? Trevor Canning says Greg and his tiny mic planned the whole thing. Tiny mic? Hey, it's not that small. Besides, it's how you use it. Sylvana Kingsland said, hey, Greg, did you have an espresso? I did not have an espresso. No. But let's get into it. What? Let's get into it. What we're going to talk about tonight is a few things. You may have heard of the woman who tweeted racist things and the RCMP showed up at her house. I found the tweets in question, so we're going to go over her tweets, compare it to other racist tweets, and see that obviously the RCMP only cares about certain tweets that are only hateful against certain people and not others. Spoiler alert, if they're hateful towards white people, no one cares. Might actually get you a government job. Pretty cool. Pretty interesting, eh? Pretty interesting how the patterns, when you recognize patterns, it's incredible what you find out. But also going to be talking about Pornhub. Should I just say the word? Will YouTube get me in trouble? I'll try to use Pornhub as much as I can. Pornography, Pornhub. For those who don't know, this is a massive tech company. Should be considered a big tech company. It doesn't get looped in with big tech nearly enough because it's massive. The stat I read today is that Pornhub gets more daily traffic than Netflix. Pornhub gets more daily traffic than Netflix. That's crazy. Anyway, they already have this kind of history with the kind of butting heads with the Canadian government, and it's pretty nefarious stuff. There's actually an American who kind of is investigating into it because there's child trafficking, pornography, as I said, like illegal material being trafficked through Pornhub. Very nefarious stuff. And wouldn't you know it, the people who have drafted Bill C-63 and we've worked years on Bill C-63, they have not mentioned Pornhub once. They haven't mentioned the parent company, MindGeek, formerly known as MindGeek, now called ALO. It's funny how they rebranded to ALO. It's like this, whoa, like ALO. Like, what are we even? It just seems like this ominous, weird, it's like meta almost. It's like ALO. What are we even? Are we trafficking children? You won't be able to find out because we're ALO. But yeah, we'll be going over that. Going to be doing a bit of research, live research for you guys on that because I want to kind of dig into it. You know, today I actually asked ChatGPT to summarize a web page for me. and I might start doing that more often. But I also want to check and see if ChatGPT summary is accurate, because I don't want to, I don't want to just let ChatGPT do all the work for me. Maybe I do, though. Maybe I do, if it's just summarizing information. What's the other thing we're talking about today? Oh, I guess we'll start off just with some dumb nonsense in Canadian politics that's happening right now. I mean, it's just we all saw did we see the Jagmeet Singh thing? I'll bring it up. We'll talk about it. Here's our favorite Jughead, our number one, my personal favorite Jughead. He tweeted this yesterday. The deal is done. The Liberals are too weak, too selfish, and too beholden to corporate interests to stop the Conservatives and their plans to cut. He doesn't actually sound like that. But the NDP can. Big corporations and CEOs have had their governments. It's the people's time. Jagmeet's tweets are always so entertaining to me, because you have to be a child for them to make any sense. So many of his tweets for since they started this coalition between the NDP and the Liberals has been something like, the Liberals and the Conservatives are teaming up with the big businesses. And it's like, no, Jagmeet, you're teaming up with the Liberals. What are you talking about? Like, actually, what are you talking about? And then it has like 1,000 likes. And it's like, who is liking this? This doesn't make any sense. You guys are literally teaming up with the Liberals. Literally. That's the whole thing. That's the whole part of the plan. The Liberals and the Conservatives are teaming up. They're the bad guys. There's what's driving this country into a negative direction. It's like, no, you have the majority of votes with the Liberals. What are you talking about? Anyway, that's why I say that, because you can't really take seriously anything that comes out of this person's mouth. So, my commentary on this is like, this is just the beginning of Jagmeet trying to campaign for 2025. That's where I'm putting my chips. I think this is the beginning of Jagmeet to say, we kind of look like bitches. The NDP has kind of looked like Justin Trudeau's little bitch for like a few years. Sure, we've kind of helped push some things through, some farther left, like socialist stuff, like, free dental care or whatever. We've had some success, but, for election time, we really got to differentiate ourselves and not look like Trudeau's little pet come election time. So that's why they're doing it now. That's why they're doing it so far out. And here are the empty words to make it seem like he's totally not in bed with Trudeau still. I'm totally not sleeping with him anymore, you guys.
Today, I notified the Prime Minister that I've ripped up the...
Whoa, you guys can barely even see it. Jeez. Does this guy even stream? Oh my God. Okay, let's start that over. The deal is done.
Today, I notified the Prime Minister that I've ripped up the supply and confidence agreement. Canadians are fighting a battle for the future of the middle class. Justin Trudeau has proven again and again he will always cave to corporate greed. The Liberals have let people down. They don't deserve another chance.
This is so funny. Like, you were teaming up with him. So did you not help him? You helped him let people down. Again, you have to be retarded. You have to be stupid to listen to like anything he's saying. Like, you can't even logically follow it. Because if you actually use your logic when watching a Jagmeet Singh video, stuff just doesn't add up. So, it's storybook time. Storybook. Forget the logic. Forget the reasoning. Forget the reality of them teaming up for years. It's Justin Trudeau's fault. I may have rubber stamped everything that he did and only pushed him to go further left and more socialist, which ruins our economy even faster, but it's Justin Trudeau's fault. I didn't have anything to do with that. What's even funnier and more insulting is that somehow Trudeau gets away with this too. Have you noticed this? I've talked about this before. But Trudeau gets away with this thing of like, guys, Canada is shit right now. And we're going to pull up our socks. Canada sucks right now, Canada. But Trudeau, I'm Trudeau and I'm going to save the day. It's like, you've been leading the country for years now. What do you mean? What are you talking about? You have been the leader But now we're going to turn things around. It's like every like 9 months he does this. Where like, you know, there's just a very obvious decline in quality of life. And then Trudeau comes out again to be like, you know what, guys? It's time for us to actually do something about it. What the fuck have you been doing? But yeah, it's more of the same. You know, Jagmeet obviously does the same thing, but it's even funnier. It's even more pathetic when Trudeau does it, is my point.
There is an even bigger battle ahead. The threat of Pierre Poilievre and conservative cuts from workers, from retirees, from young people, from patients, from families. He will cut in order to give more to big corporations and wealthy CEOs. The fact is, the Liberals are too weak, too selfish, and too beholden to corporate interests to fight for people.
Yes.
They cannot be the change. They cannot restore the hope. They cannot stop the Conservatives. But we can.
Yeah.
In the next federal election,
Yes.
Canadians will choose between Pierre Poilievre's callous cuts or hope. Hope.
I love it, dude. I love how this is just like textbook, you know, politics from... I feel like a lot of this politics is kind of like old and stale now, but it's like, yeah, it's hope. It's hope, guys. They're teaming up with the corporations. We are hope. We are the people. And I really think that, you know, because a lot of people are shitting on Jagmeet, obviously, left, right, center. I don't know what NDP supporters think. They probably love this, I think. But again, back to my original theory, I think this is all about NDP collecting data. Like they're going to collect a lot, and I mean data as in like they're going to get a lot of feedback from this video. And then they're going to learn a lot of information about that. Like they're going to learn a lot. Do people hate us? Do people like us still? What do they think of this messaging? Are we dead in the water? How much can we fundraise? You know, are we fucked? Like what do we do here? They're going to learn a lot of information based on this like pitch of like Trudeau can't, we can message. I was going to say something else. Fighting for the people. I thought it was interesting that he uses all white people in his thing. It's like every politician always tries to pander to the opposite, right? It's like you got a brown politician, so obviously he panders to the Browns, or like obviously he gets the votes of the Browns, but like when it's a white people, you know, it's like we got to use white people, these white leftist freaks. That's who we got to appeal to. And you know what? You know, they got money, they got maybe that's a good strategy. I don't know. Oh yeah, I was going to say I've said this for years now. I don't know if I've ever really mentioned it on stream, but a major part, basically ever since Donald Trump, the major argument for leftists and liberals and Democrats, it has very little to do with actual policy. Let me start that again. So pretty well ever since Donald Trump, leftists, liberals, and Democrats, they've always had the same core argument to get their vote. And it has very little to do with the policy. It has very little to do with anything other than conservative bad, right-winger bad, right-winger evil. Right-wing guy is so bad. Don't vote for him. You're not immoral, are you? You're not a racist Nazi, are you? You have to vote for us. And that might seem, I mean, people watching might get that, but if you track it since 2016, and you, even better, if you talk to the actual people voting left, voting liberal, voting Democrat, and you press them and drill them, why are you voting? It literally comes down to, well, I don't want to associate with the racist guys. Can you believe that? It's based essentially on a fairy tale constructed out of propaganda that anybody who only believes in two sexes or anybody that is concerned about mass migration or the economy is a horribly vile racist person. But it's worked, you know, but it's worked on so many countless people. Oh yeah, they also hate the environment and blah, blah, blah. But like, it's so much of the core. If you look at really what they're saying, most of the time, it comes down to that. It comes down to conservative bad, conservative evil, racist, conservative awful. And in the context of Bill C-63, they're like, we got to stop fomenting hatred. That's all you guys do towards conservatives. In various ways, but like that's always sort of the message. That's always sort of the implication, isn't it? Well, Harper's conservatives and they don't give a shit about human life. And what was Jagmeet Singh's thing during COVID? He was like, yeah, all characteristics of the far right. If you don't want to wear masks, if you don't want to put masks on children, on young kids who are healthy, if you don't want to lock your kids up inside, you're a far right, evil Nazi bigot. And I know nothing I'm saying is really groundbreaking, but it bears repeating. It's like, let's remember how basic and dumb this is. It's ridiculous. And and we've gotten used to it, I think. We've kind of like built up this sort of resistance to it and this tolerance for, oh yeah, there's a leftist politician casually demonizing me, casually just calling everybody who thinks like me, less than human scum, just implying that I'm terrible. Constantly on every news channel, every radio station across the country. Yeah, we're just going to casually dehumanize and demonize and vilify and encourage detesting conservative-minded Canadians. Imagine if they're nationalistic. Oh my God. Imagine they stood up for a Sir John A. Macdonald statue that got torn down. Hey, this guy didn't spit on the Sir John A. Macdonald statue. He's a bigot. He's horrible. That's the main talking point. It all comes back to that. Isn't it? It's crazy how well that's stuck though. I'm just kind of, as I'm thinking as I'm saying this out loud, and I'm like, it's crazy how just dumb that is. And he doesn't. He blocked me on Twitter, unfortunately. But Gad Sad made a pretty good point about this, which is like, he was talking about Donald Trump and how he found it fascinating how many like liberal Democrats couldn't even conceive why someone would want to vote for Donald Trump, and how it's like, like these people literally believe that half the country are like toothless racist hicks. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy how it's based on a fairy tale. Are you guys still making fun of my tiny mic? C-Ray says Jagmeet screams trust fund baby vibes. Yeah, that's another thing. Is he's the epitome of the champagne socialist, right? Where it's like, yeah, we need to tax the rich, even though I'm a rich motherfucker, but like, whatever. I'm like super rich, so it's fine for me. Let's get through this video. We can stop the conservatives.
But we can't. In the next federal election, Canadians will choose between Pierre Poilievre's callous cuts or hope. Hope that when we stand united, we win. That Canada's middle class will once again thrive together. In Canada, we take care of our neighbors. That's who we are. I've embraced that value my whole life. I'm running for Prime Minister because together we can and will stop conservative cuts. We can deliver relief and restore hope. Fix healthcare, build homes you can afford, stop price gouging. It's always impossible until it isn't. It can't be done until someone does it.
Yo.
If we're together, nothing is impossible. And we won't let them tell us it can't be done. Big corporations and wealthy CEOs.
Yo, honestly, I actually am appreciating this. I know it's like his messaging is really dumb and it doesn't resonate with people like us, but there's a lot of good stuff. Like his base is probably going to eat this up, I imagine. And I want to focus on something really quickly here. He is hardly at all talking about anything to do with policy once again. Okay. And I'm not trying to glaze Jagmeet Singh here. Okay. I'm not trying to like suck on his knob or anything. I'm just kind of, I'd like to show people that even our political enemies, I want to show you how they're good at the game of politics. Okay. Because we should be wanting to do that on our side. Okay. And like, I respect the good propaganda, although he got ratioed really hard here. That's pretty rough. That's a big ratio. Like, sure, 5,000 likes, but like, almost 8,000 comments. Can't imagine they're very positive. But This is the one sentence, I think, in the entire video where he actually alludes to policy.
We can deliver relief and restore hope.
Right here.
Fix healthcare. Build homes you can afford. Stop price gouging. It's always important.
That's it. That's the only thing having to do with policy in the entire video. And guess what? That's not a bad thing. That is not a bad thing. One of the reasons I don't like Polyev is because it's always like convoluted numbers and it's like, just call Trudeau a tyrant. Call him a horrible person. Call him the worst thing for freedom. The worst, like, he's a disgrace to democracy. He funds the biased news media. They're terrible. Get rid of them. We don't want the news media either because they're so biased. Like, it's so simple. It could be so simple if a right-wing leader came in and just said these talking points and just like vilified the heck out of Trudeau. And you might say, well, Polyev already does that. Does he? Does he really? He really doesn't. He really doesn't. He makes kind of cheeky remarks and says, well, look what he's done to the economy. Like, it doesn't have the same moral weight that the leftists do. The leftists are very good at making the moral argument of like, this person is inherently bad. Don't vote for them. Like, we're going to, and unfortunately, all the conservatives in this country are way too pussy to try and change the moral frame that disagrees with the news media, right? The moral frame being like, you need to be pro-multiculturalism, non-racist, anti-racist to like, that's the only part of our morality, disgracing our nation, tearing down statues and our history and the values that uphold our country. Who cares about that, right? That's just being anti-colonialist, which is like super, super trendy right now. So that's not morally bad. So yeah, I'm just looking at the good parts, okay? Looking at the good parts here.
We're together. Nothing is impossible. And we won't let them tell us it can't be done. Big corporations and wealthy CEOs have had their government. It's the people's time.
I mean, Bernier should come out with a video like this just to almost like jump on the coattails of the popularity of Jagmeet Singh's like campaign video, because it is a campaign video for 2025. Let's be real. Something like this where he just shits on all of them and calls them all globalists. Something high production quality. A lot of B-roll in here. Under 2 minutes. But anyway. Silvana Kingsland said PP is only concerned about the cost of milk. That's right. And I guess I should probably go into I'll probably go into Trump with this because I wanted to talk about Trump. I almost did a controlled opposition episode tonight. I was thinking about doing an entire episode on the de-radicalization of MAGA and Trump supporters. Because this is something that I see happening, and it's very, very troublesome. Obviously, I love Trump. He invigorated nationalism and anti-globalism back in 2016 in a very radical and exciting way that captured the hearts and minds of millions of people in America and outside of America, across the world. It was like, wow, that's what a nationalist looks like. He's calling out the deep state. He's calling out these things that we know are true. That there's a shadowy cabal of people who listen to foreign special interests and lobbyists, and they don't serve the people at all. And they're globalists. And there's a lot that Trump did in 2016 that was, I would call, revolutionary in terms of changing the game, changing the political game, invigorating, like I said, nationalism. He made right-wing populism like an exciting thing, and a lot of people got on board. But recently, it's very sad to see what I feel is like a de-radicalization of Trump supporters, of MAGA and his base. And, I like to focus on Canadian politics, but this is just something that's been on my mind. So I kind of wanted to address it and kind of just chit chat about it a little bit. Trump has talked about stapling green cards to diplomas. So he's warming up to like, hey, legal immigration is okay. What else has he said? He's talked about how abortion is okay now. Actually, some abortion is okay. I like some abortion. He's obviously supporting Israel and vilifying Iran, which is unfortunate because it's like, okay, this guy is kind of acting like a neocon war hawk, kind of pushing towards World War III. That's not very good. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. It's not very... Oh, this is a big one. He recently said in an interview that he lost by a whisker in 2020. He lost by a hair. And I'm sorry. I thought that the election was stolen. I thought you thinking it was stolen was like sort of the whole premise of why he got arrested, because he disagreed with the outcome. And now he's saying, no, I just lost fairly. That's crazy to me. That's insane. That's insane to me. And you know what it reminds me of? And, you know, I will relate this all to Canadian politics because we've seen the de-radicalization of right-wing people in Canada. And I guess, should I jump to this? Yeah, I'll jump to this. So I like to compare Trump getting shot at as the political prisoners after the trucker convoy in Ottawa. Okay? So there's the political prisoners after the trucker convoy in Ottawa. There's this like tyrannical crackdown on Canadian citizens. And it was a movement of peaceful people who were opposing the establishment. It was an anti-establishment mob of people who said, hey, like, we want our voices heard. And they got crushed by the tyrannical boot of Justin Trudeau. What happened after that? Because what I just described is morally reprehensible. Should not be happening in a free, democratic country like Canada. Should not be happening. It's disgusting. And then what did the opposition do after that? They walked next to James Topp for like 2 minutes, 30 seconds maybe, for a photo op. And that was it. Sure, maybe they were partial, but like there's CPC shows like, no, he said this one time and he said that one time. Yeah, like he said like one little tweet here or one little comment here. He never vilified Justin Trudeau and the Liberal government for their tyrannical crackdown, which is morally reprehensible. There was no moral weight to anything that Pierre Poilievre said after these human rights abuses, political prisoners, patriots are in the jail cell. You know, nothing. He hasn't said anything. And even worse, a year and a half later or 9 months later, after the inquiry into the use of the Emergencies Act, after they said it was okay for us to use the emergency on peaceful citizens, peaceful protesters, it's okay that we crushed them and threw them in jail. The government said it's okay. What did Poilievre say? He said, well, you know, those people were there protesting because they didn't like Trudeau so much. Doesn't even mention vaccine mandates. Does not name vaccine mandates. So he's actually starting to change history now. He's starting to change why the protest was even there. Not talking about the political prisoners and kind of softly saying, yeah, I guess it's okay that we justify the Emergencies Act to crush those people, the trucker convoy. And he successfully, over that time, since the trucker convoy, all this anti-establishment energy at the trucker convoy, you remember it? All this anti-establishment energy at the trucker convoy. This government's corrupt. They're tyrants. What the fuck? Slowly but surely after that, little PP, Pierre Poilievre, slowly but surely dampened that. Hey, shh. No. You're not anti-establishment anymore. Shh. No. I'm going to save you from Trudeau. It's just Trudeau that's bad. The rest of the establishment, all these other buildings, all these other corrupt bureaucrats that are, you know, directly connected to the Trudeau government and was complicit in what happened during COVID, they're fine. It's just Trudeau that's bad. Once you switch him out, for me, then everything will go away. That's what happened. And now all these anti-establishment, all that energy from the convoy has now just been minimized, killed, back behind another establishment globalist politician named Pierre Poilievre. It was sad to see. It was sad to see that. Very sad. I'm still not over it. If you haven't noticed, I'm still not over it at all. I got an axe to grind with this guy. And Derek Nelson says, dang, Greg, support of Trump is like saying you support PP. Well, hey, there's a distinction here, okay? Okay, first of all, Trump and Pierre Poilievre are like nothing alike in terms of their, like, what they've accomplished and just the charisma, okay? The charisma, like there is no, because I hate people who are like, oh, Pierre Poilievre's like our Trump. It's like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? That's insane. No, it's not. But no, the difference is Trump has, like I said, he's in, like, you can't throw away what Trump has done in the past. That's just simply not fair to do that. It's not fair you have to respect the fact of what he's done in the past and how he has invigorated a sense of nationalism even beyond America. Like, you can't just say, oh, Trump sucks now, so like I don't like him anymore. Like, it's the same thing as being like, I want Trudeau out. I'm also going to criticize Pierre Poilievre. You know, I'm going to criticize Trump now. I still like what he did before. You know what I mean? Like, it's, people always get mixed up with thinking it's all or nothing when it comes to this politics game. But I lost my train of thought there. Oh, the de-radicalization of right-wingers in Canada after the trucker convoy was very sad. However, what's happening in America is almost sadder. The de-radicalization of Trump people and MAGA people is almost even more sad because they were that beating heart of nationalism that was being heard across the country with MAGA. Trump normalized fake news and having his base, having millions of people be like, we don't like the news. We think it's all fake. Now those same people are like, well, maybe we just need to be nice with the media. It's the same thing that Poilievre and all the Conservative Party people are saying. And this is happening in the States as Trump supporters. Well, you know, it's a different game in 2024. We got to be more, Trump's got to be more strategic. He's got to be more strategic with how he deals with the media. What are you talking about? This is fake news Trump. And now he needs to be nice with the media. It's the same idea of like, now we actually like the establishment. You know, that establishment that vilified me and basically wanted me crucified? We actually have to be nice to them. Insane. And along with that, fake news, and also Trump supporters believed fake democracy too. This election is not real. This was rigged. By the way, I would be taken off of YouTube if I said that like a couple years ago. I don't know if that's still a rule, but they used to have a rule on YouTube like you couldn't say it was like rigged or whatever, which is crazy. And it speaks to the whole idea of there being a deep state, of there being nefarious connections between big tech and the CIA and, you know, the larger pieces of the American government. And some of that's been true. Like, some of that has been verified, if I'm not mistaken, in terms of there being very direct connections between the CIA, like, working at Twitter directly during the 2020 campaign. Like, all of this stuff is explosive. It's people have known about it. It animates and activates Trump's base. It validates everything he said about the draining the swamp. And now what is he talking about? He's not talking about the swamp anymore. Did you guys see I don't know if any of you saw like the RNC and the Republican National Convention, but like it was boring, man. It was boring. Oh yeah, by the way, they tried to shoot him in the face. They tried to kill him, by the way. So to use the analogy I used of trucker convoy happened, political prisoners, tyrannical crackdown, anti-establishment energy, all that stuff going on. And then Pierre Poilievre slowly softens that and says, hey, it's okay. Hey, it's okay. Don't worry about the political prisoners. Just get behind the establishment. With Trump, it was nearly getting shot, nearly getting assassinated, nearly, being persecuted, having the election stolen from you, being vilified in the media for years, nearly getting shot. And what does he say at the RNC, the Republican convention days later? I'm going to take the high road, and we need to be about unity, and I'm going to start pandering to minorities, and I'm going to start warming up to immigration, and I'm going to start warming up to abortion, and I'm going to. It's insane, it's like, who is this guy? This is not the same person. And to go a bit deeper on it, there are people who are pointing out that the people running his campaign are like ruining it for him. And yeah, but it's sad to see, man. I'm not going to go any deeper because, like, you know, I'm not an American political pundit. I don't follow that stuff closely, but I'm noticing the pattern of what we've been experiencing here with patriots being de-radicalized to sit back on the couch and vote for vote for Pierre Poilievre. And I'm also seeing it in the States, and it's a sadder version because MAGA has been radical. MAGA supporters are radical, and people love Trump. And unfortunately, he's taken that cult of personality and that all that power he has, all that influence, and he's encouraging people to be establishment. You know, oh, okay, I'll just sit on the couch and vote Republican. Sad to see. Sad to see, you know? Sad to see. Bushcraft Quebec says trucker convoy, the Canadian January 6th. Yeah. I mean, sort of. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. And I mean, the difference is I didn't in my example I just gave, I didn't relate the trucker convoy to January 6th because although there's a lot of parallels, obviously, you could say that you can make the argument that there's wrongdoing by the J6ers and that they like went into the building or whatever. Like I don't personally, you know, I'm not here to protect or condemn those people, but it's like I use the assassination attempt as a more kind of clear example of morally reprehensible event that happened. Because at the convoy, we didn't have that. We didn't have people breaking into the parliament buildings. We had none of that. We had peaceful protesters literally cleaning up the streets, literally just asking nicely in their nice Canadian way, like, hey, can we have our rights back? And they got crushed. They got literally crushed by police horses. So it's a very like definitive, very demonstrative, clear example of who was morally in the wrong and who was being attacked. And I compare that to the assassination attempt because it's obviously morally reprehensible, clearly wrong, clear that someone is being attacked for political reasons. And it's the perfect fodder, it's the perfect excuse to actually further radicalize people. And I don't mean it in like any sort of like crazy way. I just mean it as in like further activate people to try to make a change in the country, to like, you know, take that energy and like keep it moving towards against our political enemies. Because let's face it, guys, we need something to fight against political correctness. Okay, there's like a stranglehold of political correctness that's been around our necks for years now. It affects so many different industries, and it's the reason why political correctness is powerful is because it has, like I said, a moral weight to it. It has a moral weight. There's moral consequences. Hey, they're wrong. They're racist. Hey, we need to, like, you know, they're fascist. All that nonsense. That stuff is very powerful and it animates people. What's the right wing version of that? What's the counterpoint to that? Lower taxes. That doesn't work. Yeah, we're gonna get a bunch of like torches and go in the streets for lower taxes. We're gonna go fight for lower taxes in the streets. No, it doesn't work that way. The reason why people came out for the convoy, obviously, is basic freedoms. That worked. But instead of taking that energy and continually pointing out, hey, they were tyrants, they took our rights away. They were tyrants, they took our rights away. Like, that's not allowed. That's not allowed to happen in this country. Instead of that happening, it was just kind of like, well, let's not talk about the political prisoners and all those human rights things. Let's just, everybody settle down and let's talk about the price of milk. That's what we got. That's what we got. Worse than 9/11? Uh-oh. This is dripping? What's happening here? Oh, I haven't even plugged Save Free Speech yet. Guys, lots of exciting things going on with Save Free Speech. If you didn't know, started SaveFreeSpeech.ca. Oh, that's not it. But a lot of work is being done right now on the documentary. It's very, very exciting. We hit our 10% mark. So we've hit 5K. Special thanks to everyone who's donated. yeah, we're the gears are moving. Okay, clips are coming up. More clips from the documentary are coming up, and there's going to be more details here too. I'm going to update this in the next couple weeks to kind of let people know. We might actually even have like a tentative release date, kind of breaking down also where all the money is going. And we're going to need more of it. We're going to need more of it because we need to ensure that this gets done on time, that this is marketed well. I'm not going to say the details yet, but like this could really be like out there as an official like broadcast documentary that will far exceed just my YouTube channel. And we need money for that. So if you want to support this project to stop Bill C-63 and really fight against political correctness, then go to givesendgo.com/SaveFreeSpeech. givesendgo.com/SaveFreeSpeech. And I obviously want to shout out absolute legend. Absolute legend. Where is he? Michael the Conqueror. Look at this legend. $777. I plead the blood of Jesus over Greg, his documentary, and his loved ones in Jesus' mighty name. Amen. Christ is King. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you so much for this massive donation. He is our biggest donor. This guy's a legend. 07's in the chat for Michael the Conqueror right now. Everyone 07 for Michael the Conqueror. This makes a difference. This makes a huge difference. You guys have no idea. And it's going to be an exciting fall. I'm really excited for the stuff that we're working on this fall. I have some comedy videos that I'm cooking up too that I think they're pretty funny. So those should be fun. And yeah, we're going to try to fight against that political correctness too and expose what's going on with Bill C-63. We are going to talk about the Pornhub and the nefarious stuff going on with that in Canada and how it's like not at all been mentioned by Arif Virani, who's pushing Bill C-63. Unbelievable. But before we do that, let's get into some racism, folks. Let's get into some racism. So I thought I'd start with this Twitter account, which I've followed for a little bit. Whoops. This is a cool Twitter account. It's called BIPOC Doing Racism. So it's like racist tweets from presumably like, black people or non-white people. And yeah, it's pretty vile stuff. It's pretty, for real. We need a white genocide at this point. Like this, just genocide. You know what I mean? I support white genocide. Like, wow, that's crazy. Do you think the RCMP are showing up at these people's houses? Compared to what's happening in the UK, where people are supporting the protests or the demonstrations, which are protesting, 3 young white girls who got murdered, and that energy has turned into someone, I think it's fair to say, like an anti-immigrant, anti-mass migration protest, and people who are showing support for this are getting arrested in the UK, and things like that are starting to happen here. I'm going to brace yourselves, because I'm going to use the excuse me. Oh man. Brace yourselves, because I'm going to read the far left news article about this story. It's because it actually has the tweets in it. This is Press Progress. Oh, God. A Canadian Twitter user was arrested for posting videos harassing South Asians. Experts say Canada's justice system is not equipped to stop the problem. That sounds like a foreshadow if I've ever heard one. Can I do a... Where's the search? Nope. No Bill C-63 here. But, yeah, you may have heard about this. BC woman, RCMP showed up. The Chilliwack RCMP said it made the arrests following an investigation into discriminatory and harmful content that was posted on X, the social media platform. According to the RCMP's media release, the individual was arrested and released with an upcoming court date on several recommended criminal code offenses. Yeah, that's interesting because the article that I read before didn't even have them listed. Didn't even have the offenses listed. But I'll look it up right here. So it was these two: public incitement of hatred and also willful promotion of hatred. This is already in the criminal code, folks. This is already in the criminal code. And some people have said to me, well, you know, Greg, we already don't have free speech because of stuff like this. And that's a fair argument. However, it makes way more sense to focus on Bill C-63, the upcoming one, first, because it's not in yet. And it's a lot easier to stop something before it goes in. And it's also just atrocious. It would make everything much, much worse. So it makes way more sense to defend against the oncoming threat first. The one that is much easier to debunk, by the way, because, you know, if it's already in law, then people are like, well, what are you talking about? It's already there. What? It's hard to make people change, right? And if they haven't changed yet, i.e. adopted this Bill C-63 yet, then it's a much stronger argument than trying to get rid of these laws. But everyone who, by communicating statements in any public place, incites hatred against any identifiable group, except white, where such incitement is likely to lead to a breach of the peace, is guilty of an indictable offense and is liable to imprisonment for a term not exceeding 2 years, or an offense punishable of summary conviction. Willful promotion of hatred: everyone who, by communicating statements other than in private conversation, willfully promotes hatred against any identifiable group, any identifiable group other than white people, is guilty of an indictable offense and is liable to imprisonment for a term not exceeding 2 years. And I mean, like, haha, I joke, haha, like any identifiable group except white people. But that's, I mean, that's pretty real, though. That is real. You can really hate on white people a lot, and nobody really cares. So you can tear down statues, you can say fuck white people, and nobody really cares that much. I do want to bring this up as well. I'm going to bring up a clip of the upcoming documentary from Save Free Speech, because it's very important. Is it this one? What are you doing? Why is it not working?
Anti-hate collaborator.
Nope, it's not this one. Just hang on, folks. Hang on. We'll get to the racist tweets. I know you can't wait to get to the racist tweets. I can't either. I can't wait. Why is nothing loading? Is my internet down? What's going on here? Not good, guys. What's going on with my internet?
A violent 24 hours in
assault earlier this week.
No, that's not it either. Come on, where is it? Guys, here it is.
Last week in
Nice. I guess we'll just react to this. Oops. Oh, God. Oh, God. Come on. Oh, God. You got some boomer tech issues here. Wow, bro. Come on. Is this your first time? Is this your first time streaming or what?
Last week in the UK, 3 young white girls were stabbed to death, and the murderer was of African descent. This sparked massive anti-immigrant protests across the country. The media characterized anyone who protested 3 innocent children being murdered as far-right. And the UK government is now enforcing their online censorship laws to arrest anyone who shares sympathy with this protest online. This is a warning to Canadians. The Liberal government wants to pass the exact same absurd laws on the Canadian internet with Bill C-63. Here's a clip from our upcoming documentary from SaveFreeSpeech.ca. The Canadian anti-hate...
Man, this is so good. This stuff is so good. Make sure you follow them on Twitter, okay? If you haven't seen them yet, Save Free Speech. It's SFS Canada.
Network claims to fight back against racism, but upon further investigation, one could argue that they are far more racist than many of those that they target. You see, anti-hate aligns with the controversial critical race theory ideology.
CRT instruction is now illegal in over 35 states. According to CRT, racism is primarily discovered anytime there is a difference in outcomes.
And lumps together all minority groups, or non-white people, with terms like BIPOC, Black, Indigenous, and people of color, and pits them against white people. Critical race theory promotes the belief that white people and the institutions they built, or supposedly didn't build, are inherently racist and oppressive.
With CRT, the labels of oppressor and oppressed are applied according to racial status. Specifically, whites are the oppressors and everybody else is oppressed.
This is just scratching the surface of the toxic ideas within critical race theory that the Canadian Anti-Hate Network promotes and defends.
The term critical race theory, or CRT, has been replaced. If you hear anti-racism instruction, it is critical race theory.
The Canadian Anti-Hate Network is launching a whole education program. We'll work with schools to carry out anti-hate workshops. We are already doing these workshops.
Their worldview is not only insulting to minorities who do not subscribe to this victim narrative, but it also discriminates against white people as a whole. To our knowledge, anti-hate has never reported a single instance of racism or hate being targeted toward white people.
Hear that part again. Anti-hate has never recorded any sort of violence or hatred targeted towards white people. Not once. They even say that they have a far left bias. They focus on the far right, and we are proudly anti-fascists. It's crazy. No, we'll get this part too because it drives it home.
To our knowledge, anti-hate has never reported a single instance of racism or hate being targeted toward white people, even though there are many examples of this.
That's fine. Totally fine. All this is fine.
However, this is not surprising because contributors to anti-hate seem to believe that being racist against white people is not even possible.
I've never and will never face racism, discrimination. I'm a middle class, middle aged white guy. Whether you're a middle aged white guy like me who's never experienced racism and never will, white guy like me who's never experienced racism and never will.
The Caucasian man must be killed with the sword.
Fuck white people, bro. They bad as fuck, bro. They beating up every white person. He white. Beat his shit.
We focus on the far right.
Middle-aged white guy like me who's never experienced racism and never will.
This is probably why they promote controversial figures.
This part's really important. This is the part that I wanted to show you. So, yeah, this is the Toronto BLM co-founder who has contributed to anti-hate.
Such as Toronto BLM co-founder Yusra Kogali. Kogali is a self-proclaimed anti-racist who has posted on social media about white people being, quote, inherently subhuman, as well as asking Allah to, quote, help her not kill white people. After this controversy, instead of apologizing for her comments, Kogali claimed critics were vilifying her for telling the truth about racism. Ever since Kogali has said these hateful things about killing white people, Anti-Hate still chooses to promote Kogali, where she states that anti-racist funding should be allocated to groups whom she personally sees fit.
Isn't that crazy? Despite saying, Allah help me not kill white people are subhuman, Anti-Hate still works with this person. Anti-Hate still after this has associated with this person. So if you're hating on white people, you might get a job at the government. You might get a government-funded job. Anti-Hate is funded by the government, so there you go. Whereas, if you're a Canadian saying racist things against Indians, then are giving Indians the finger, then the RCMP is going to show up at your house, which is just crazy. To compare the racist tweets, this is the woman who got the RCMP show up at her door. Canadian girl, she says, first people I saw today when I left the house. Which, maybe you're frustrated at mass migration, and she's, that this is how she chose to express it, I guess. Here's another one. Mock the Browns, give them the finger, tell them how you feel about them being in our country, make sure every single one of them knows how unwanted they are. Record and post it all so we can inspire the courage of our fellow white brethren. I mean, you flip the script, mock the whites, give them the finger, tell them how you feel about them being in our country, make sure every single one of them knows how unwanted they are as a colonizer, record it and post it all so we can inspire the courage of our fellow BIPOC brethren. Why do I feel like the flip side of that would be celebrated and shared and amplified? Probably would. probably would. They'd probably get an interview on CBC. But of course, if it's a pro-white thing, then it's going to be seen as vile. It's going to be seen as awful, and to be fair, I'm not here endorsing this message. I'm just kind of identifying the double standard here. This is probably not something that I would lead with. If I was going to encourage people to criticize mass immigration, That being said, what she's alluding to here is something that is actually quite interesting, which is the idea that I like to use the example of Spain. That's probably not the best example, but if you go to certain countries in Europe, Spain maybe Spain's a good one. Spanish people can be very rude, and they can be very racist against, the non-white people, the immigrants that are there. And that actually works as a social deterrent for the immigrants, right? These Spanish people are mean. They don't like us. I don't want to be here because they're mean to us. You know what I'm saying? It actually does kind of work as a social deterrent. And I don't think that's controversial. I think that's just kind of human psychology and how groups work. If people are going to be kind of mean to you, you're going to not want to hang around, obviously. I found this one kind of funny though. Imagine going to another country as a grown man and taking all the teenagers' jobs from the native population. Vile, immoral creeps with this AI photo. I mean, that one's kind of a banger. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah. I mean, you can be as mean as you want to white people. But if you're saying the same kind of vile, mean stuff to the immigrants, nope, not allowed. Not allowed. RCMP will show up at your door. So obviously a double standard. I will say this though, this one is kind of. I don't know what the video was. I don't know if it was a little prank, but she says, "Dear Muslims, I rub some pork all over your magic food." To me, it's if you are, tampering with stuff in the grocery store, That's just, I don't know, like, do you, I guess, but I don't know the laws when it comes to like tampering with products in the grocery store. And I mean, I guess I should say it's kind of, it's not surprising that you would get called out on this for the same reason why I would condemn somebody from, you know, someone from this page of like people saying, hey, we need to kill white people, or like, hey, I'm going to like, you know, poop on white people's food. There's probably all sorts of weird shit like that. Like that stuff's disgusting, but equally, even though it's someone who's probably more partial to our politics or whatever, it's like, this is also kind of crazy. Like that's also kind of like, you know, it's definitely a little bit indefensible. Yeah. But yeah, those are the mean tweets. Let's look at these other BIPOC ones. Ricky Persal getting robbed was just reparations. White people have been stealing the whole world since the devil created them. Damn. I hate white people, man. The audacity to even ask this question. I'm praying for their downfall. Wow. Well, that's crazy. This one's just called Dead White Children. My lord. You're kind of quiet. Videos are loud in comparison. Good to know. Thank you, Buzz Mooski. Lee Stewie said, remember when black people were licking ice cream in the tubs and putting it back? I do remember those clips, and that was gross. Like, that's like, I don't care what color you are. That's fucking disgusting. Like, don't, like, why are you fucking with food in the grocery store? That's nasty. This one's really sad. This is like a white kid getting... I don't want to read too much of this stuff because it's quite demoralizing. I just wanted to address those tweets that got the RCMP's attention and how it's just like there's just a horrific double standard here. Just a horrific double standard here. And that's not like... that is definitely a major piece. Maybe not a major piece. It's not the main piece, but it's definitely a supporting piece for Bill C-63. I guess in a way it is a major piece because, you know, to stop this bill and to educate people on this bill, we need to like remove all doubt that this is a politically partisan, you know, bill created by ideologues and motivated to suppress certain political opinions, like without a doubt. And I gotta say, the more research I do, like the more abundantly obvious that becomes. There's all this talk of, we worked on this for years. Arif's like, we worked on this for years, you guys. Like, this is really good stuff. And it's like, okay, well, the more I look at this bill and the more research I do on it, it only seems that this bill is like perfectly created to give the government a bunch of power and have the, you know, discernment or to have the power to silence who they want. Like the loopholes are perfectly large enough for the government to decide who is a villain, who is not, who will get charged, who is not. Conveniently, just like a tyrannical government would. However, there's just enough sort of hope and light and nice conversation around how actually this is to protect kids. There's like just enough sort of like nonsense to say that it's to protect kids. Okay. It's almost 10 o'clock. When did I get started? Like an hour ago? 2 hours ago? No, it was like 8. Only like an hour ago, right? An hour and 20 minutes? Okay. Let's get into the Pornhub stuff. Speaking of Bill C-63 and doing this research. Or should I talk about Lauren Chen quickly? This was pretty funny. I'll talk about this. We'll do something light first. I sincerely apologize for posting a video of Dean Blundell speaking. I'm getting reports that some of my followers now have brain damage. I'm deeply sorry. I actually got reports that some of my followers, that their testosterone levels plummeted after listening to this man, share his political opinion. And I need to be more responsible. I need to give a content warning. I'm going to share some of these tweets because they're kind of inflammatory, but they're funny. Bumdell has joined the bottom feeder click whore clan. Ooh, we put Keenan in there too? Shit. Man. What was I going to... Oh, this one was funny. Oh, look, Rachel Gilmore's lesbian grandma is talking geopolitics again. Chadimir Putin. That's a really good name, actually. Damn. Chadimir. I will go to the one thing that he said, though, which is crazy. So he's talking about, for those who don't know, Lauren Chen got caught receiving a bunch of money from Russia, which is actually insane. Like, that's actually crazy. Like, she's like the Lauren Chen, roaming millennial. She makes pretty good stuff, to be honest. I liked it. But yeah, apparently she got caught receiving like millions of dollars from Russia, from the Kremlin. And of course, all of these, it's definitely worthy of talking about. Don't get me wrong, but it's funny to watch all of these Canadian establishment people talk about it in this certain way. Like, well, I'm only going to do this because I feel like it might trigger me and I might go off on a rant. So let's just watch a bit of this. The one part, Dean Blundell says Canadians who oppose diversity, equity, inclusion policies and want to take care of their own are Russian talking points. He says that he implies in this clip that those are like just Russian talking points.
There's worse things in the world than being right, but not much better. The DOJ filings yesterday.
What a douchebag. Oh my God. Oh my God. Like, I could see that being funny if you like played it up a little bit, like a hamhead, but like he's like, there's few things better than being right, but not really. Wow. Oh my God.
About the Russian disinformation operation through Tenant Media and a Canadian company called Rome Millennial is a fucking bombshell. Oh my God. Listen, it's everything we said it was. It's fucking everything we said it was.
Like, this is so weird. It's so fascinating to watch this. Like, does he want to make this? Like, does he want to make this, or like, is this part of his job to make this? You know what I'm saying? Like, does he want to make this content, or does he have to make this content for some reason? Like, is he just going through the motions? You know what I mean? I'm getting a little conspiratorial here, but it's like,
It's Russia paying certain companies to filter money to different people to produce content that's friendly to Russian interests, mainly the war in Ukraine, Donald Trump, and sowing discord in the United States and Canada, civil unrest, promoting civil war, anti-DEI, anti-LGBT inclusiveness, basically
yeah. I love that one. So, Canadians on their own, content creators, people of the world, cannot be far left crazy LGBTQ plus policies and education for kids. No, that's all Russia. It's all Russia. No, it's all just Russian disinformation. This guy is on one. This guy is high on something. He's on mushrooms every day of the week, I think.
Everything that Russia says they want for Russia, that every single Canadian and American proxy has been saying that they want the same thing too. And they do it.
Wow. It's almost like they're just normal human beings who are opposing these insane far left ideas that are destroying society. But yes, I'm in a group chat with Putin. That was a joke. Okay? That was a joke. Relax.
Real fucking good, too. You know what they do? They talk about how Canada shouldn't be sending stuff to Ukraine. We should be taking care of our...
I mean, we should be taking care of our own. Exactly. Yeah.
Shouldn't be sending stuff to Ukraine. We should be taking care of our own. Russian talking points.
We should be taking care of Canadians is a Russian talking point now, according to this moron. Who watches this guy? I feel like the only people who actually watch this guy are just, I don't know, a small collection of like leftist establishment orbiters or something. I can't imagine it's that many. I want to go see the actual tweet. Did he post it on Twitter? Yeah, here it is.
There's worse things in the world than being right.
What a fucking piece of work. What a piece of work. All right. If I'm Pierre Polyev, I'm packing my effing bags for India right now. Hashtag Russian disinformation. Wow, that meant, oh my God, really? 1,000 retweets? Come on. Dream on, oh brainless wonder. Y'all are so stupid. Do you think Russia influenced us? I thought I've seen it all, but here we are, Plan D in full effect. Right, so many of us has been calling this out for years. These people are deranged, man. These people are deranged. This person said, if I were Trump, I'd be getting the fuck out of Dodge also. Is that a threat? What the fuck is that? I mean, you know, I usually don't get into these talking points, but like, I wouldn't be surprised if this is all just like view botted. Like those are some crazy numbers for like a just terrible total ass take. Is the Twitter audit thing accurate? And you can like audit Twitter followers to see how many are fake. Fuck off. I want to sign up. No, I don't want to do that. Nope, sorry, we're not going to find out. We're not going to audit today. Because I don't want to give away my data. What do you guys, what's chat saying? What do you guys think of Dean Blundell? Very few people watch the Dean. Guy is high on copium. Yeah, I agree. Canada and the U.S. should be taking care of their own. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's not that complicated. It's a Russian talking point. That is a pretty funny joke, actually. And to say any time that you're, you know, opposing hormone blockers for kids, it's a Russian talking point. That's actually a Russian talking point. Actually, are you supporting your country? That's actually a Kremlin talking point. That person was actually influenced by a Russian disinformation campaign to believe in his own country and to value his own citizenship and to value the history of his country. Actually, Russia made him do that. Cool. You have no brain. Amazing. So where do we start with this Pornhub stuff? That's the question. Where do we start with the Pornhub stuff? Oh, I just checked the Give Send Go. Let's go. E. Headley with $15. Thanks so much for the donation. We appreciate it. You are helping Save Free Speech. Go to givesendo.com/SaveFreeSpeech if you want to support our upcoming documentary. We got editors, we got producers, we got marketers, It's going to be great. It's going to expose the people behind Bill C-63 and really spark the revolution against political correctness in Canada. So you can go support that at giftsandgo.com/SaveFreeSpeech. Okay. Okay, let's keep this place free. As free as we can. So we're going to start with this video probably because it's the most fire. I essentially, you know, I've talked about this before as a talking point, but MindGeek / ALO / also best known as Pornhub is headquartered in Canada. It's headquartered in Montreal. And this is a massive porn enterprise, okay? Like it's, let me look at the, did I put all the screenshots in here? I can just throw them on screen, I guess. Let's just bring these up one by one. So I was doing the research today. Is this from it? Yeah. This part's crazy. Pornhub and MindGeek also stand out because of their influence. One study this year by a digital marketing company concluded that Pornhub was the technology company with the third greatest impact on society in the 21st century. Can you believe that? Pornhub was the technology company with the third greatest impact on society in the 21st century. Like it's really insane when you think about it. Actually, let's start with this. Brace yourselves. This is a New York Times article, but it speaks to what we're talking about. The children of Pornhub. Why does Canada allow this company to profit off videos of exploitation and assault? Yet there's another side of the company. Its site is infested with videos. It monetizes child revenge pornography, spy cam videos of women showering, racist and misogynist content. I mean, that should be allowed. Like what do you? I mean, I guess if it's pornography, that's a little awkward. But in and of itself, I don't think things that are racist or misogynist are that. I mean. Am I alone on that? I don't know. And footage of women being, now I look like a piece of shit for saying that before this. Anyway, a search for girls under 18 or 14 YO leads in each case to more than 100,000 videos. Most aren't of children being assaulted, but too many are. So some of them are. I mean, you get the idea. I don't need to paint the ugly picture for you. As you can imagine, illegal content gets uploaded to Pornhub. And there's already been a sort of thing happen between the government and Pornhub, which is surprising to me because, okay, so there's already sort of an ongoing relationship between the federal government and Pornhub, headquartered in Montreal, that has specifically to do with harmful content. I hate calling it harmful content. Has to do with illegal content. And there is a piece of legislation called PEPETA. PEPETA. This is stuff that I'm learning for the first time. But maybe I'll go to the. Maybe I'll invoke my whatchamacallit. Yeah, let's just do the Cole's Notes version. This is what I got from ChatGPT. So maybe I'll do the original one. So this was investigation into ALO, formerly MindGeek's compliance with PEPETA. So what is PEPETA? Let's watch this video first.
Welcome to another 10 Fundamentals video lesson. In today's video, we're teaching you about Canada's privacy law, PEPETA, the Personal Information Protection and Electronic Documents Act. PEPETA ensures that companies collecting personal data from Canadian citizens are doing so in a fair and transparent manner. There are several rules companies must follow under PEPETA, including companies must ask for your permission before collecting your info. They can only collect what's necessary and relevant. Your info can only be used for the purpose it was collected for, and companies can't keep it forever. Companies should make sure that your information is kept accurate and up to date. Most importantly, companies need to protect your info. They should also be open and transparent about how they use your information. You also have the right to access your own info, and the right to ask questions if something doesn't seem right. Canada.
I'm just thinking there was a story not too long ago that there was a big like data leak, wasn't there? I forget what organization it was, but I'm pretty sure a lot of Canadians were affected by that. Someone said children of the Corn Hub. Yeah, exactly, right? Carl Stenbeck. Yep. More Russian talking points. That's right. Worrying about freedom of speech? That's a Russian talking point. Canadians helping Canadians is a Russian talking point. I'm stealing that. Daryl Skird. Thank you. Thank you for your donation, by the way. I noticed that on Save Free Speech. Appreciate that. Let's hear the rest of this Pepeta explanation.
Canada's privacy law grants Canadian users a variety of different rights. These rights include the right to know, which means you can ask what info a company has about you. You also have the right to access, which means you can get a copy of your information from the company. You also have the right to change your data. If information is wrong, you can ask to fix it. You also have the right to be erased. You can ask the company to delete the information they have about you. At 10 Fundamentals, we're committed to adhering to Canada's privacy law, the Personal Information Protection and Electronic Documents Act. We do so by asking Canadian users for clear consent. We always ask for your permission before collecting any information. Using transparent practices. We're open about how we use your info. Practicing minimal data collection. We only collect what's needed to provide you with our services. Ensuring data accuracy. If you find a mistake in your information, let us know and we'll fix it. Upholding your right to erasure. If you want your information gone, just let us know. And there you have it, Canada's privacy law explained in just a few minutes. It's all about making sure companies are respecting your personal information, handling it with care, and upholding users' data privacy rights. 10 Fundamentals is committed to following PIPEDA's rules to keep the experience of Canadian users safe and enjoyable. Learn more about data privacy or PIPEDA in the 10 Fundamentals DataWise Center at 10fundamentals.com/datawise. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. I actually like this production style a lot. It's pretty simple. It's clear. It's got simple colors, easy to follow. Interesting. 10fundamentals.com. Haven't looked this up yet. Oh, great. Did I spell that right? 10fundamentals.com. This is what I got. Great. So the website's broken. Amazing. Oops. Wait, did I put the right thing in? Hold on. tenfundamentals.com. Yeah. Not looking too hot. Website's not looking too good. Okay. Maybe Arif Farani destroyed it. I don't know. So, that's PIPEDA, which I guess makes sense. It sounds like it's well intended. But this is what I need to learn about. I need to learn, like, it's very interesting, a good way to kind of further destroy the so-called necessity of Bill C-63 is to look at the other bills that have been passed about the internet, or that are being proposed about the internet. And PIPEDA is a good one because it does talk about consent. And I believe this thing having to do with MindGeek and Pornhub has to do with consent. But, you know, I've been streaming for a while. I haven't eaten dinner yet. And this is really long. So we are going to do the unspeakable. We are going to rely on the robot. Let's get the robot in here. I went to ChatGPT and I said, hey ChatGPT, can you break this down into a bunch of bullet points for me? That'd be great. So this is the bullet point summary of what we were just peeking at here, which is the investigation into ALO, formerly MindGeek's compliance with PIPEDA. And these are just my notes where I posted this stuff. So, investigation subject. ALO, formerly MindGeek, an adult website operator, was investigated for compliance with Canadian privacy laws under PIPEDA. Non-consensual content. The investigation focused on ALO's practices related to the non-consensual sharing of intimate images and videos. Non-consensual sharing of intimate images and videos is something directly talked about in Bill C-63. And I do want to say, I'm kind of... This actually could be something that Arif Virani and the Liberal team tries to use to actually justify Bill C-63. They might turn around and say, like, actually, Greg, you know what? We don't like Pornhub, and that's what this bill is all about. And because nobody knows anything about the bill, they'll all seem to be telling the truth. When that's not the case. Because if you actually look at the bill, there's nothing specific about Pornhub. The only thing that's specific is that this phenomena of non-consensual sharing of intimate images is a thing that happens on the internet, or that the internet is sort of, allows people to do this practice. That's the only thing that's, this idea that is going to stop Pornhub just because it facilitates that's not a guarantee whatsoever. And it's, anyway, C-63 is full of loopholes, as I've said before. Anyway, so the main thing of this investigation is MindGeek / Pornhub complying with Canadian privacy laws under PIPEDA. Non-consensual content, the investigation focused on ALO's practices related to the non-consensual sharing of intimate images and videos. Legal framework. Canada's Personal Information Protection and Electronic Documents Act governs how organizations must obtain consent before sharing personal information, including images. Consent requirements. PIPEDA requires explicit and informed consent for the collection, use of sharing of personal information, especially in sensitive cases like intimate content. ALO's failures. So this is Pornhub's failures. The investigation found ALO lacked adequate measures to confirm the consent of individuals depicted in uploaded adult content. User verification. ALO's processes for verifying user identities and consent were inadequate, especially regarding uploads featuring third parties. Right. So third parties could be like, if let's say I'm a corn star and I have a threesome and I videotape it, I upload it, but there's two other people in the video who maybe didn't consent or what have you, like their identities are unknown, whatever. Takedown process. The company's process for removing non-consensual content was slow and ineffective, prolonging the exposure of individuals in illegal content. Okay, so this actually might be a positive argument that they could use for Bill C-63. Because part of their whole thing is like, 24-hour takedown on Bill C-63, right? So it took too long. The company's process for removing non-consensual content was slow and ineffective, prolonging the exposure of individuals in illegal content. Report mismanagement. ALO failed to manage reports of non-consensual content effectively, violating PIPEDA's principles of accountability and safeguarding. I mean, sounds pretty bad. Sounds pretty bad. Imagine there was a bill that was just targeted on porn and targeted on this problem. Oh shit, I said the P word. It's ruined. I was doing corn for so long. I was going for so long, man. And then I let the P slip. Damn it. But imagine there was actually a well-intended bill that made sense to solve this problem. Unfortunately, Bill C-63 is not that. But it's too bad because this is obviously a horrific problem. I was thinking too, like, because they talk about the sharing and the resharing of intimate images, and they talk about child pornography and how some of it's like non-consensual. Pornography in general is just super destructive for everyone who participates in it. Like if you ever find like a former porn actor or actress, they're not doing good. they're not doing good, because although they like consented, it's also like these victims of non-consensual sharing are saying, it's the same effect even if it was consensual, where it's like your video that's like so entirely intimate is being shared and reshared and rehashed and reshared. And it's very, you kind of reduce yourself to like, you know, less than human in a way, or like you know, there's such a spiritual crisis. There's such a spiritual black hole there of participating in that. And just by watching it, you're participating in it. Okay. So don't watch it. Don't watch the corn. But I'm just thinking how funny it would be if the liberals were like, we're going to actually ban corn. And then all the leftists would be like, what do you mean? We love our corn. Yeah. Anyway, let's get through this summary of this report. Report mismanagement. We just read that. Canadian Privacy Commissioner's role. The Privacy Commissioner concluded that ALO violated PEPIDA in multiple areas, specifically failing to ensure proper consent and user privacy protection. Key standards for adult websites. Adult websites must have clear, robust processes for obtaining consent before uploading content, especially involving third parties. Content moderation. Content moderation. ALO was criticized for insufficient content moderation practices, which allowed illegal and non-consensual content to remain online. So, insufficient content moderation. This came up. Which one is it? Hold on. Yeah, it's this one. So, this was from the New York Times article. While Pornhub would not tell me how many moderators it employs, I interviewed one who said that there are about 80 worldwide who work on MindGeek sites. So it's not just Pornhub, by the way. MindGeek has Pornhub and a whole bunch of other corn sites. Like there's a whole network of corn websites. And they only have 80 moderators worldwide. By comparison, Facebook told me it has 15,000 moderators. So with 1.36 million new hours of video uploaded a year to Pornhub, that means that each moderator would have to review hundreds of hours of content each week. That's not even possible. Hundreds of hours a week? How many hours do you even have on a week? Like a typical work week is 40 hours. So this is implying you would have to watch like 4 or 5 times that to even keep up with the amount of pornography being uploaded. And once again, why do I feel like bureaucrats aren't going to solve this problem with Bill C-63? Why do I feel like they're not going to solve this problem? Why do I feel like they're just going to add to it and make it worse? The moderators fast forward through videos, but it's often difficult to assess whether a person is 14 or 18, or whether torture is real or fake. Most of the underage content involves teenagers. The moderator I spoke with said, but some comes from spy cams and toilets or changing rooms. Okay, that's enough of that. Jeez. I mean, it would be nice to hold Pornhub accountable, but right now with Bill C-63, all they have is, hey, if you don't take down the content we don't like, then we're going to fine you, so you better take it down. And I feel like there's a better way, a much more kind of specific way that they could address this problem. Because right now, in the same category, I'll bring it up. Right now, in the same category, this is the actual bill of Bill C-63. Have we brought this up on stream before? Hey guys, this is the bill. This is the webpage. This is what I've been reading about. Isn't that cool? Oh, great. I lost my spot now. Good job, genius. I'll just do Control F again. Harmful content means intimate content communicated without consent, content that sexually victimizes a child or re-victimizes a survivor, content that induces a child to harm themselves. So like there's only two that have to do with pornography, sexual content. And that's lumped together with 6 other things, nothing to do with pornography whatsoever. So like the lack of focus on this bill is actually laughable. You know, if you want to solve something to do with child sexual exploitation, maybe just focus on that. How about you just focus on that? How about you just have these 2 things, intimate content and content that sexualizes victim of child, re-victimizes survivor? No. You also have content that induces a child to harm themselves. So if a kid says kill yourself, for example, a lot of kids say that. That's like a sign off for some people. That's like a catchphrase for some people. KYS. If some kid says KYS in the comments, kill yourself. Is that now that's on the same tier as child pornography? That's this, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy how they're just lumping all this stuff together and saying, this is what harmful content means. No, this is your Trojan horse. This is what your Trojan horse says. That's why you have them at the beginning. Intimate content communicated without consent. Content that sexually victimizes a child or re-victimizes a survivor. Whoa. This stuff's pretty serious. There's no way that I could possibly disavow this bill because I definitely want that to stop. It's a really despicable and tricky game that they're playing here, using that as a Trojan horse and just lumping it all together, lumping together child pornography, revenge porn with bullying, you guys. Are you serious? It's wacko. I hate to use the Pierre Polyev term, but wacko is actually an apt word for this right now. All right, let's keep getting through this chat GPT summary. Carl Stenbeck, bullying children and terrorism together? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, bullying children or terrorism or pornography, or it's all the same. Like we're just going to stop it all and be able to get rid of. We're going to treat it all exactly the same. And don't worry, we're going to have like 7 people that the House of Commons elects and or chooses rather, and then those are going to be the people who are going to decide all of these crazy decisions about what is bullying, what is not bullying, what is revenge porn, how do we get rid of it, what is terrorism, what is inciting or fomenting hatred. We're just going to get them making all these crazy decisions. Realistically, it's probably just going to be people like the people who work from Anti-Hate being like, let's shut up these political dissidents. Let's shut up these people who are right wing. Like that is like 200,000% more likely than this idea that a handful of bureaucrats are going to be able to successfully moderate the internet on these 7 harmful points and then do a good job of it. I don't think so. Because again, like if they were serious about this, they would actually mention Pornhub, at least in the press conference, and like get into the intricacies of what actually happens when you upload a video, why that's a problem. And that's why I'm looking into this stuff, because this PEPIDA stuff, it's legislation that I've just found out about, but like it actually goes into all those things like we were watching in that video, all the different things of like, okay, do you have consent? How much data is it? What are the safeguards? What's the access? What are the what's the other list here? Right to erasure. You can erase your content if you want, right? It's important because when I read Bill C-63, I'm reading a bunch of bureaucrats who know nothing about how the internet works. And I can at least appreciate that this PEPIDA stuff obviously knows more about the internet. Like they know more about how the actual internet works. It's more intricate. There's a lot of things you need to consider. It's not just we're going to stop harmful content, right? Like it's a little more complicated than that. So I appreciate that. Thick Beaver says, I could really go for some corn right now. That was a good one. That was a good one. Halifax Matt says revenge corn should be allowed. Just saying, just putting that out there, okay? I don't know about that. I don't know about that. That's I don't think I agree with that. If someone got my nude pics, I wouldn't want them posting it everywhere. That'd be a nightmare. Would you feel comfortable with that, Halifax Matt? What if you were on the receiving end? Or are you like, yeah, I want all the pics and videos of me out there. I don't care. That's kind of, I don't think, you know what I mean? Like, do unto others as you'd like to do unto yourself. Do you really mean that? Like, would you be okay being a victim of revenge corn and all of your stuff is out there without your control? I mean, actually, the funny difference, you're making me think, actually, the funny difference is, if it's Hunter Biden, if it's a politician, if it's some famous person, you know, and it's like, it's kind of like something nefarious or like interesting. It's like, and they're smoking crack. Like, that's almost like, you know, maybe there's an argument to be made there of like, well, if it's something detestable enough, then again, I guess the whole argument is that, oh, no, it's not consensual. I can do whatever I want in private. Hey, if I want to have sex with my niece and smoke crack in private, then that's my right. My name's Hunter Biden. Edgy DTV says anyone who uses the word corn instead of porn should be unalived. I'm just trying to help the algorithm. You never know the benefits of not saying the P word. Porn. All right. Oh, I was thinking revenge porn in the context of the Kardashians. Revenge porn? No, that's my marketing campaign. Revenge porn? No, that's my that's how I'm going to get all these followers and finesse the system to get a new TV show. I'm a corn star. All right, let's keep going here. Report mismanagement. ALO failed to manage reports of non-consensual content effectively, violating PEPIDA's principles and accountability and safeguarding Canadian Privacy Commissioner's role. The Privacy Commissioners concluded that ALO violated PEPIDA in multiple areas, specifically failing to ensure proper consent and user privacy protection. Key standards for adult websites. Adult websites must have clear, robust processes for obtaining consent before uploading content, especially involving third parties. Why couldn't this be a piece of Bill C-63 that has horrible, horrible consequences? Like, would anybody disagree with that? Would anybody disagree with let's make this bigger, liberal, conservative, far left, Green Party, freak, NDP, far right, Christian, hardcore, Catholic pastor? Well, they probably wouldn't want the pornography. They wouldn't want the porn at all. But, so maybe that's a bad example for this one. But imagine in Bill C-63, there was like hey, we have very, very strict rules for pornography websites in Canada now. And if you want to upload something to a corn website, you have to jump through a lot of loopholes. Or sorry, not loopholes. You have to jump through a lot of hoops. Would anyone disagree with that? We're dealing with pornography. And you know what the argument is. Pornhub, Edgy D has successfully bullied me into saying porn now. Now I feel lame every time I say corn, so now I'm saying porn. From now on, I'm saying porn. Good job, Edgy D. You're gonna get the video taken down now because you're too cool. What was I saying? I feel like I was cooking there. I was on a good. the reason why they're not going to do this, or Pornhub doesn't want to do this, is their business model is collecting and posting as much content as possible. More content, more viewers, more ads sold. More content, more viewers, more ads sold. More content, more viewers, more ads sold. If they have to create a huge roadblock for anybody to upload pornography, then there's going to be less content, less views, less ads sold. So they are, like, you know, the people who run Pornhub, I heard it was a rabbi. I don't know if that's true. But the people who run this website obviously don't want to put this stuff in place. And if they're getting more daily traffic than Netflix, they're probably a pretty powerful company. So it's probably, you know, there's not that many powerful big tech companies. Actually, let's Google that. What's the biggest? Why can't I see anything here? Come on. I'll just go to their Wikipedia, I guess. Is it the biggest? How do we determine which company? We have to do this ourselves. 460 million US. Biggest tech companies in Canada. Okay, we got Shopify. Shopify, Canadian business. Put on a little tunes while I do all this. Okay, Google is not. Biggest tech companies based in Canada. Based? Hilarious. 5 biggest tech software companies? Okay. Okay, interesting. They have Shopify at the top. So for those who don't know, Shopify is really, really big. Shopify is like a tool that helps you do e-commerce, helps you do checkout stuff, and they are based in Ottawa, Canada, if I'm not mistaken. Or like, you know, I know they're definitely part of Canada. Let's see here, and the survey says, oh my, is that net revenue? Oh, that's way more. Okay, yeah, Shopify is definitely bigger than the Corn website. Oh, you guys are looking at that the whole time. Sorry. So this is Shopify. Revenue, that's each year, right? So no, it's the same year. Net income, total assets, total equity. All right, and then let's look at ALO, aka Cornhub. Revenue. That was in 2021. Why isn't it showing 2023? Okay, so let's compare 2021. 460 million in 2021. Shopify doesn't have their 2021 numbers. But yeah, it's definitely bigger. So Shopify is definitely bigger there. I want a list though. Is there a definitive list? Biggest tech companies in Canada? Constellation Software? Doesn't sound like anyone I've heard of. Oh, they make a lot too. What do they make? Constellation Software. Constellation Software. Anybody heard of this? CGI Inc. Open Text. Descartes Systems Group. Oh, apparently there's some big tech. Let's open text. Okay. 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 Where's revenue? Revenue. Okay. I want to see the rest of the list. I want to see where they are. I want to see a bigger list. Because they might crack the top 10. Pornhub might crack the top 10. This one says 74. Okay, they're not showing up here, really? On a list of 74? Sorry, I know you guys can't see this action here, but we're gonna go to the bottom of this list. Why wouldn't they show up? I mean, I don't know what website this is. Maybe that's part of the problem. I'm just kind of clicking on random. Just clicking on random. Hey, don't mind me. I'm just clicking on random websites, guys. Just getting spyware to my computer right now. 74 largest Canadian companies in the technology sector by market cap. And this is the bottom of the list because it's top 74 for some reason. Let's just try this one, I guess. Material. What? Okay. Okay. I think I just got lost in like a clickbait article. Is the top even accurate? I should have done this at the beginning. Okay, Shopify, Constellation. That was the same top, yeah. And I already searched for ALO and MindGeek on every single page here. Let's take a random one from this page. Alithia Group. Oh, it shows the revenue here. Oh, that's market cap. All right, what do we got? Here's a technologies company. It doesn't even have their revenue on their Wikipedia. So the point is, for some reason, why isn't Pornhub even on here? MindGeek was the other one. Nope, it's not on here. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills, guys. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. Does Pornhub exist? Is it real? IT companies. I mean, is it really? I guess it's an IT company. How big? I'm afraid to search how big is Pornhub. Ugh. Let's just try MindGeek. Let's try the old name. Okay. It says they only have 1,000 employees. I guess I can show you guys what I'm looking at. Did the CEO of MindGeek step down? Confirmed the departures of Faris Antoon and David Tassillo in a statement Tuesday. When was this? I love this. This is so amazing. I love this. No, this is great. No, thank you so much for this. Thank you so much. Thankfully, I found this website. Mwahahaha. Will this work? Uh-oh. I may have laughed too soon. Come on. Just let me read the Washington Post. I didn't think I'd ever have to beg to read the Washington Post. Bro. Okay. Holy fuck. You've got to be kidding me. I fucking hate that. Wow. Guys. Did you see what just happened there? I'm just trying to read a news article. No, you have to pay us. No, we need your email. No, sorry. You don't get the news anymore. Yeah. Fuck. What companies are similar to MindGeek? How old is MindGeek? Founded in 2004. Who is the leader of MindGeek? Okay. Director, producer? Ugh, at Pornhub? That's kind of crazy, bro. Is MindGeek free? I just want to know how big MindGeek is as a company. Actually, maybe because they're based out of Luxembourg now. Maybe I just can't find that. Oh, here's a Reddit post. Guys, get your Reddit cap on. Get your Reddit cap on. Today I learned that a Canadian company named MindGeek owns half of the porn industry. Internet video sites and movie studios with most of the actors are under contract with them. They own so much they compete with themselves for content. Really? Okay, what the fuck is wrong with Reddit? What the fuck is this? Here's the top comment. I'm just picturing some hockey mom running this business with an iron fist. What the fuck is wrong with Reddit, dude? I don't know why this is sending me, but like, what the fuck? Why would this be the top? Like, what does this even mean? I'm just picturing some hockey mom running this business with an iron fist. Kill yourself. Like, what the fuck? Like this crazy story. Wow, half of all the internet online, or half the porn on the internet is from this Canadian company. I'm just picturing like a hockey mom. Shut the fuck up. God damn it. Oh my God. Oh, this is interesting. Please correct me if I'm wrong. They have to compete with each other, so they are not considered a monopoly, right? Not exactly. They're still a monopoly. According to the article, they have vampiric practices. Even content producers that MindGeek owns have trouble getting their movies off MindGeek's tube sites. The result has been a vampiric ecosystem. MindGeek's producers make porn films mostly for the sake of being uploaded onto MindGeek's free tube sites, with lower returns for the producers but higher returns for MindGeek, which makes money off of the tube ads that does not go to anyone involved in the production side. Okay. I don't need to know how the porn actually works, but Reddit's getting so into it with the hey, as a porn expert myself. Ooh, this might be worth it, guys. There's a great podcast called The Butterfly Effect by John Ronson about the owner of this company and how he changed the face of porn forever. That's a crazy name, John Ronson. Not that I'm like into porn, but you know, I just want to find out how big and powerful this company is. It's weird that I'm looking for it. They're not showing up on the top 74 businesses list. What the heck? Guys, I need a search inquiry. Can you give me a Google search inquiry I should put in? Irving Twin says, Wycliffe, I'm very drunk, but I can handle the business-facing side of this. Lol. I know you can, sir. You're going to be my accountant, okay? So buck up. I'm going to send you business reports. I'm going to send you cover letters. I'm going to send you balance sheets, assets, liabilities. And I want to see it on my desk by tomorrow. Leveling everything out. Future projections for the next 8 quarters. That's 2 years, as I'm sure you know. Irving Twin, I want you on it, okay? I'll be sending it via email. There'll be a codec. There'll be an authenticator code emailed to you, and also via pager and text message. And I'm only doing this because if you're drunk, I want to confuse you and baffle you. For those who don't know Irving Twin, he's a highly underappreciated YouTuber. He's gotten it for a while. He got it before, you know, he has a Kekistan flag and everything. Irving Twin says, no, I mean the porn. Oh, you're going to go on the business side? Oh, that's great. Degenerate. You want to be my researcher? You're going to be my porn researcher? Great. All of a sudden, all these right-wing patriots want to help out. Oh, really? I'll look into that. Oh, God. Never goon. Ever. Never goon. Never edge, ever. Don't do it. Never. Pray. Get out your Bible, read a random verse, pray. That's it. Simple. I mean, it's not that simple, but... Come on, keywords, guys. Keywords. Whoops. Oh my God. Whoopsies. Broke the stream there for a sec. I'm going to wrap this up soon, but I thought I'd do a couple more like Google searches, fun Google searches. I thought we'd do a bit of Google searches before I go. Edgy D says always edge. No, never. Never edge. Never goon. Ever. Mind Geek. Oh, man. Look, why another Reddit post? Why? Why? This might be interesting, though. I kind of like this headline. Pornhub's parent company is changing its name to Total Nonsense. Too long didn't read. MindGeek changes its name to ALO. They want to shuffle things around following the Visa and MasterCard bans. As hard as they try to claim that, quote, you won't find this word in a dictionary, it sounds like Halo to me. They're just tiny little angels now. I thought there was something interesting and light about Halo. Halo. It's real. It's Israel. It's real. I'm sure that's completely unrelated. Yeah, I'm sure it's completely unrelated. Yeah, I'm probably not. I should look up the... Yeah, I should look up another thing here. Let's read a few of these. This is from the justice.gov website in America, by the looks of it. Pornhub parent company admits to receiving proceeds of sex trafficking and agrees to 3-year monitor. Ooh. Spicy. Spicy. This was December 21st, 2023. I mean, once again, if you're Arif Virani and you want to talk about protecting kids, this seems like a home run. Doesn't it? And, you know, I came across this like last night and today doing more research, and I thought, is this like his trap card? Is Arif Virani going to try to use this later on to push it through and be like, well, actually, Pornhub, sex trafficking, therefore we got to pass it. The thing is, once again, for anyone paying attention, it's like there's nothing in the bill that would actually stop this idiot. Just like the poor guy, not the poor guy, but the poor woman he brought up to present Bill C-63 was a woman whose daughter was subject to a sexual predator, a pedophile. Okay? The legislation isn't going to stop that from happening. It's not going to stop pedophiles. It's not going to make sex traffickers go away. So it's very interesting that Arif Virani wouldn't bring something like this up. Pornhub parent company, headquarters founded in Canada, admits to receiving proceeds of sex trafficking and agrees to 3-year monitor. Well, actually, and maybe this is a good thing to look at of like, what is the U.S. government imposing upon Pornhub? Does this monitoring affect Canada as well? Does it affect us? This isn't too long. Should I read it all, guys? I'm not the strongest reader, to be honest. Mr. Pence? Mr. Peace. Mr. Peace? That's crazy. All right, let's read it. This is going to be spicy. Let's read it. So, Pornhub parent company admits to receiving proceeds of sex trafficking and agrees to 3-year monitor. This is December 21st, 2023. Deferred prosecution agreement resolves money laundering charge. Earlier today in federal court in Brooklyn, ALO Holdings, formerly MindGeek, parent company to Pornhub.com, was arraigned on a charge of engaging in an unlawful monetary transaction involving sex trafficking proceeds after entering into a deferred prosecution agreement with the United States Attorney Office for the Eastern District of New York to resolve the charge. So it sounds like all this is happening in New York. I guess they have a office in Brooklyn, I'm guessing. Okay, am I retarded? Why is it bringing up Brooklyn? And another fucking donor, another fucking Reddit post is coming up. God damn it! I've seen enough Reddit today. Where was I? The proceedings was held before United States Chief Magistrate Judge Louis Bloom. The PDA provides for the appointment of a monitor for 3 years and for payments to be made to the United States and to individuals adversely affected by the underlying sex trafficking. Breon Peace, United States Attorney for the Eastern District of New York, and James Smith, Assistant Director in Charge, Federal Bureau of Investigation, New York Field Office, announced the deferred prosecution agreement. Mr. Peace also thanked the Victim Witness Unit, the FBI's, blah, blah, blah. I'm 2 seconds away from going to ChatGPT right now. The deferred prosecution agreement. Under the terms of the deferred prosecution agreement, ALO has agreed to pay $1,844,952 to the United States. I'm sure it wasn't $6 million. Anyway, $1.8 million to the United States. ALO has also agreed to provide monetary payments to victims of the GDP operators who have not otherwise already received compensation and whose images were posted on ALO's platforms. ALO has agreed to be subject to an independent monitor for a period of 3 years. The monitor will be tasked with assessing the company's compliance with the terms of the DPA, The monitor will also evaluate the strength and thoroughness of ALO's due diligence protocols for its content partners and content programs, the robustness of the company's content screening and monitoring processes, the adequateness of the staffing and resources dedicated to ALOs to address, mitigate, and remediate takedown requests or allegations of the presence of illegal content on the company's platforms, and the adequacy of the company's disclosures to relevant law enforcement authorities regarding the presence of illegal content on the company's platforms. That was a sentence. ALO has agreed to cooperate fully with the monitor and to adopt and implement recommendations made by the monitor subject to the terms of the DPA. This is exciting stuff. This is exciting stuff. Wow, 100 people are watching this. I can't believe it. You guys are troopers. You guys are troopers. Irving Twin, put me in, coach. Yeah, you want to read this stuff? You want to be my chat GPT and summarize this dissertation, whatever this is? The office reached this resolution with ALO based on several factors, including the nature and seriousness of the offense. The fact ALO did not voluntarily self-disclose its criminal conduct to the office, but thereafter cooperated with the office's investigation. Its removal of GDP and GDT content from its platforms, the nature of remedial measures ALO has instituted across its platform since 2020, and ALO's commitment to remediating and improving its compliance program and internal controls, including its agreements to a 3-year monitorship. In reaching this resolution, the office also considered the wide-ranging impact the monitorship will have on ALO and possibly more broadly other adult website operators and internet safety generally. In the event ALO breaches the terms of the DPA, the company has agreed to be prosecuted for engaging in an unlawful monetary transaction in violation of Title 18 United States Code, Section 1957. The investigation was conducted by the FBI's New York field office. The government's case is being handled by the office's Businesses and Security Fraud Section in coordination with the office's Bank Integrity Task Force, which is charged with investigating and charging corporate and individual actors who launder criminal proceedings using the U.S. banking system and enforcing anti-money laundering controls under the Bank Secrecy Act. Assistant United States Attorneys Hiral Metha Gilly. Yeah. Did you get all that? Did you get all that? Let's watch this video about it. Oops. What's going on here? Come on.
Boom. This might be the biggest scandal you haven't heard about.
The largest porn website.
Attracting 130 million users a day, more than Netflix or Amazon.
Pornhub is under investigation.
This was a company that did whatever it wanted until one woman and a laptop exposed the truth.
She is the founder of the Justice Defense Fund.
One of the pioneers in anti-trafficking.
Lila McElwain.
Thank you for having me.
I was reading the story of a missing 15-year-old girl who was found when somebody tipped off her mother that she was in 58 videos on Pornhub being raped and abused. The Sunday Times did an investigation. They found dozens of illegal videos, even children as young as 3 years old. How was this happening? I decided to test this upload system. In under 10 minutes with
3 years old? Evil is real, guys. Evil is real, by the way. If you didn't know, if you didn't realize that.
Only an email address, I was able to upload content that went live on the site. They weren't asking for an ID. They weren't asking for a consent form to make sure that this wasn't a rape or trafficking victim. The site became infested with videos of real sexual crime. I have to sound the alarm on this. I was posting on Twitter, started a petition.
We're just about to hit 1 million.
2 million signatures.
Hundreds of organizations participating. Media started to pay attention.
In your article, you write, with Pornhub, we have Jeffrey Epstein times 1,000.
This isn't about porn. This is about rape and sexual abuse of children.
The 12-year-old boy, he was drugged, overpowered, and raped in 23 videos being sold on Pornhub.
Victims were speaking out left and right.
This is going to haunt me for the rest
rest of my life.
Whistleblowers were saying this is true.
Pornhub put profits over people.
Even the former owner of Pornhub reached out saying he wanted to help.
Dozens of lawsuits were filed. We went after Visa and MasterCard to cut ties, but they were still resistant. Pornhub started attacking myself, victims. They don't want to stop because they're making a lot of money. And they fight dirty. Pornhub was so scared, they deleted 80% of their site. 10 million videos gone.
Wow. 80% of their site. That's despicable, man. Like how much of it was, oh God. That's disgusting to think about. If they had to delete that much. Ugh.
Their site, 10 million videos gone. Victims, they were so happy and relieved because for the first time in years, their rape videos were off of Pornhub. But the fight's not over. They are going to answer for what they've done.
Hope so. Hope so. Should I get this book, guys? What do you think? Should I get this book? Takedownbook.com. For those curious, this is Layla Micklewait. Layla McKilwit. Wait. Yeah, pretty awesome stuff. Pretty awesome stuff. You know, it seems pretty easy to vilify Pornhub, but for some reason, the liberal government is not interested in doing that. For some reason, Arif Irani is not interested in vilifying Pornhub. Maybe because it's, you know, they make over nearly $500,000 a year in revenue, and they're a Canadian company, headquartered in Canada. I don't know. It's interesting, though, isn't it? But hey, it's been fun tonight, guys. Anything else? Anything else before I go? For those who are just maybe tuning in, you have no idea what's going on. We've been talking about MindGeek. We've been talking about this massive porn enterprise that's headquartered in Canada and how they're guilty of taking child sex trafficking money. And meanwhile, the Liberal government wants to stop online harms with a new Bill C-63, the Online Harms Act. They say they're going to protect kids online, but none of them have mentioned Pornhub for some reason. None of them have mentioned MindGeek for some reason. This company that's clearly guilty of receiving money from sex traffickers. But for some reason, the Liberals don't want to name Pornhub, whatever. Despite them being, easily the number one culprit of the worst sex crimes against children in terms of the spreading of child pornography. But from what I've seen, the Liberal government doesn't want to talk about it. That being said, maybe I've spoken too soon, and maybe this is their trap card. Maybe they have what I've described here, and they're actually going to pull it out when they're trying to pass the bill and say, well, actually, Pornhub in Canada, child sex trafficking, we're going to stop them with Bill C-63. You know, we have to be ready for that, because it might be their trap card. Because, you know, people aren't going to know. People don't know about this bill yet. They are, though, with SaveFreeSpeech.ca. And we can prevent that trap card from working, because nothing in the bill is specifically going to stop like pedophiles uploading harmful content. Whereas there's other ways, as we've seen on the stream tonight, there's other ways to stop that. You could have specific legislation for these companies to say, hey, you're uploading porn. Sorry, you got to jump through these hoops if you want to upload anything. That's something that everyone could agree with. The only person who would disagree with that are literally gooners, coomers, edgelords like Edgy DTV. No, these goomers and coomers who are like obsessed with porn, like, no, I want more of my pornography. Don't be mean to the porn companies. I want the porn companies to make money. These are the only people who would oppose that. But again, we know Bill C-63 is a fraud for this reason, because they don't get into any amount of details to specifically targeting porn companies. It's just broad. They equate revenge porn with bullying with racism, and they put it into the same fucking category. It's ridiculous. They're clearly not intending to actually solve this problem. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see, but it's obviously good to expose this stuff, to know this about Pornhub, and about how it's not, doesn't look like they're going to be using Pornhub as a scapegoat to justify this bill. Maybe they will. We'll be prepared for it at SaveFreeSpeech.ca. And if you want to help us out at SaveFreeSpeech.ca, we are creating a documentary about what this bill, C-63, is really about. It would be the end of free speech in Canada. They want to broaden the definition of hate speech to be detest or vilify. So if you think what Pornhub is doing is detestable and villainous, receiving money from child sex traffickers, and I say whoever runs fucking Pornhub as a detestable villain, piece of scum who should be deported, that would be called hate speech, and I could get arrested for that, for vilifying some child pornographer. Can't call them villainous. No, don't. It's too much. We can't detest the pedophiles. According to this bill, that would be illegal. It's crazy. It would give the government so much control, tyrannical control over all speech online, and aside from that, just for speaking in general. So if you want to help us stop Bill C-63, we're creating content all about it, including a documentary that is well in the works. I'm not going to say just yet when it's going to drop, when it's going to be finished, but you know, it's on the horizon. I'll say that. It's on the horizon. But again, if you want to help donate to the stream, to stopping Bill C-63, go to givesendgo.com/SaveFreeSpeech. There's a pinned comment there in the chat. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Appreciate you. Appreciate you all. Edgy D says, never coom, always edge. No, never coom, never edge. Don't do any of that stuff. Frosty B Rocks Insights says, wood chippers unite. I don't know what you're talking about. I have a feeling it's Day of the Rope. Okay. Didn't know it was a book. It was a book. Haven't read it. Yeah. Thick Beaver, thanks for hanging out. Populous by the Lake, thanks for hanging out. Irving Twin, make sure you eat some bread before bed, buddy. Sounds like you've been having a couple. Have some pasta, have some bread before bed, maybe some water too. Thanks for the moderators, Lee Stewie, Chris Freestone, what's going on? Kelter 2021. High IQ Greg with negative IQ Brett Boyle. Sorry, do I know Brett? Should I know who Brett Boyle is? VD, Trevor Canning, Sethos Elkin. I still think Greg is probably the best Canadian example of YouTube throttling subscriptions. Yeah, maybe. I need to get my crap together, just in terms of being consistent and pumping out more content. Like, 'cause you know, there is a whole formula to it. You really got to be on top of it, and I'm trying to get more on top of it now. I'm hoping my output is going to continue to slowly but surely get better and better for you guys. That's the plan. That's the plan. But thanks y'all for watching. And yeah, till next time. I got lots of work to do for Save Free Speech. I'll probably still be live streaming next week. But yeah, there's a lot of good stuff coming down the pipe I think you'll enjoy. But in the meantime, have a good evening. Have a good evening, everybody. I'm really hungry, so I'm gonna go eat. See ya. Good night, everybody.